Well, as COVID cases have subsided in the nation, people have taken to flying in large numbers. Domestic air travel has hit a new high in the post-Omicron period. While dip in the COVID cases means a boost to travel and tourism, the number of travelers has led to a major chaos at most of India's airports, including Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore. Long queues witnessed in airport terminals, whether it is for check-in or for security checks. Now, the Union Minister for Civil Aviation has taken stock of the situation. I will go to that, but first, let me introduce my colleagues joining us from various locations. Dharani from Chennai Airport, Arunil from Mumbai, Thoya from Bengaluru, also with us. Let me begin with you, Dharani. When it comes to the Chennai Airport, what is the kind of congestion that is being reported? Because now it seems all these major intersections, airports that deal with a large volume of passengers, also because these are the airports where you have all the interconnecting flights, are facing a huge problem. We had a major issue in the Mumbai airport recently, but when it comes to Chennai, Dharani, what is the latest?
Well, Afrida, of course, congestion is definitely a problem in all the major airports in India. So right now I'm standing in the domestic arrival here in the Chennai airport, and you can see in the visuals here that, this is exit number, A2, and we can see the crowd that is standing in front of this, exit gate. More than, 100, 200 people. They're waiting for, friends or relatives or, whoever is coming out. So definitely, the functioning is definitely, a kind of, it needs some mechanism to be, done there. So hundreds of people are waiting here in exit gate number 2 for their, friends and relatives to come out, and there is no proper, structural mechanism here that's been put out. So this is the situation is kind of same in other exit gates too, and it is same with the international arrival too. So talking about Chennai airport, although it is not as chaotic and as as chaotic as the Mumbai and Delhi airport when it comes to congestion, Chennai also has its share of congestion issues, and we can even talk to one of the passengers who is a regular user of flights. So he is now standing here with us. So this person that is standing right now with me, he's regularly using flights from various cities in India, and he tells us that there is actually a congestion problem, including in Chennai airport. So sir, what kind of congestion problem you're facing in airports, and as a passenger, what do you expect the airport authority to do to solve it?
Ma'am, if we say about the congestion, there is congestion on all levels, right from departure till check-in, arrivals, and getting into the vehicles also. What has been sorted out, it seems like, is the arrivals, where the vehicles have now got a capacity of higher parking with the MLCP being opened last week. But when you see the arrivals gate or when you see the check-in queues during the peak hours, that is something that needs to be sorted out. Maybe more check-in counters, maybe more space or more organizing of how people could land and get to their vehicles.
So is this something you're observing only in the Chennai airport or in other airports across India too?
So with the advent of now increasing air travel after COVID, this has started to increase on all major airports, not only in Chennai. It is quite less in Chennai compared to the other big airports in India. Smaller airports within Tamil Nadu, not so much as of now.
Okay.
Yes. How do you think the airport authority can solve this issue for passengers?
Dharani, you can continue with the conversation. I'm going to my other colleagues, but do continue to get more voices for us. I want to go across to Arunil from the from the perspective of what happened in Mumbai. Arunil, that incident where you had a major backlog, the systems failed. Is all of that because of the volume that the airport is handling, and it's bursting in the seams, not able to really cater to the kind of numbers, footfall that the airport is receiving? Arunil?
Well, Afrida, we need to understand that the main primary reason why Civil Aviation Minister Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia took a meeting with all the airport authorities, all the prominent airports in India, as well as the several stakeholders related to these airports. The reason for that was the point that you mentioned, the chaotic scenes that were witnessed at the Mumbai airport, as well as the recent crowd that was being noticed at the Delhi airport as well. The two most busiest airport in India. Now, I was talking to one of the top sources from the Mumbai International Airport. Now, they were part of this meeting. What exactly has been told to them Afrida, is that during the peak hours specifically, the number of personnel who are there on the ground, that needs to be revamped, that needs to be increased at its full potential, so that the passengers are catered to. The number of counters for check-in, the number of counters for security of travelers also needs to be increased. It also needs to be accelerated. That's what it's been told to all the airport authorities, so that the problems that have been reoccurring in different busy airports of India, that doesn't happen at regular intervals. Several other technical solvents or technical solutions are also being given by Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, obviously in consultation with his team, to the airports in Mumbai and Delhi particularly, so that the kind of pressure, the kind of chaotic scenes that were witnessed recently, that can be countered with.
Because, you know, we're reporting on this story and we're already getting inputs on how the number of people have missed their flights, not expecting this kind of delay. Thoya joining us from Bengaluru. Thoya, what is the word out of the Bengaluru airport? Is the airport able to handle the kind of numbers it gets on a day-to-day basis?
So, well, Afrida, absolutely. The congestion is the main problem over here in Kempegowda International Airport in Bangalore. Recently, we all know that the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who came to Bangalore and who inaugurated the Terminal 2 over here, but that's still under construction. Whereas now that all the passengers, the international and the domestic passengers, have to, board from this way only. This is the entry, and the crowd was actually, they were actually more. And now that it is getting, the crowd is getting cleared. And whereas I also spoke to a few passengers off the record, and they also say that this kind of issues that they're facing it all the time. Whereas I can tell you that exactly 4 to 5 months back, also the Grammy Award winner Ricky Cage had also tweeted on this congestion of the queue inside the checking and the queue in the to collect the tickets and the boarding passes, and this is happening frequently due to the shortage of staff in the airport, and also the staff are being very rude to the passengers. That's also one of the comments that we got from the passengers just some time back, and this is happening very frequently in the airport, and they're all hoping for the Civil Aviation Minister to speak to all the authorities.
It's natural, you know, what you're saying is important, Soya, that sometimes the staff also loses their cool. It leads to a very tense atmosphere. The systems are overwhelmed because of the sheer number of people wanting to travel. Ishika is in Delhi. Ishika, if you can show us around as well what the congestion is like and what is the magnitude of the problem when we talk about airport congestion.
Today, the Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia held an important meeting to discuss the passenger congestion-related issues with the management of the airport authorities. We are present here with some of the passengers. I'll go across to them. So my first question to you will be, have you ever faced congestion at the airport, and what problems did you face because of that?
Yeah, so I have faced that during the Diwali time. So there was lot of delay, lot of crowd was there, and they were not able to manage it properly. But we thought that it is because of peak time it was there. But still, that time also they would have it would have been possible for them to maintain the situation. But this time it was fine. I have seen the improvement over there. So people were evacuating very early as compared to my previous trip. So it was a nice experience this time at least. I'm not sure what will happen in the future, but yeah.
So did you see any changes? Were there more security forces deployed now?
Yeah, so more security forces were there. So like they were keeping eye on each and every passenger traveling over there. So yeah, they were present over there. And the line was smooth also. So there were not that much delay this time.
So now after, we are seeing that Civil Aviation Minister has now asked the airport authority to solve this issue immediately. So how hopeful are you now?
So as I have to tell you, my experience of today, it was fine. And I think they will keep on doing the improvement. So I'm seeing positive vibes, but it depends on a lot of other factors also. So for now, this trip was, at least for this trip I was satisfied with all the management over there.
So, you clearly heard here the passenger, who was saying that he did, face such kind of issues in the past. But if we talk about today everything was smooth because there were more security, in fact, deployed, and everything went smooth. And in fact, he is hopeful that, after this very meet, everything will remain smooth. Now, this is Ishika Verma with VG Chandradev reporting for Mirror Now.
So we're trying to get inputs from multiple centers just to give our viewers an idea that this is a real problem now that the country is facing, where you have passengers traveling through these important metros and their airports are having to deal with long queues, major delays, massive backlogs, and there are complaints now of passengers missing flights as well. So the Union Civil Aviation Minister has taken note of the situation. There is a strategy that is being chalked out to resolve this issue. But you heard passengers there saying that the crowds are unprecedented. Surely after COVID, there is an urge to travel. People have come out with a vengeance. But the airports are not able to handle it smoothly is what is a matter of concern now. There needs to be a plan in place. As I said, the systems are getting overwhelmed. In order to solve this issue, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia held a key meeting with the management of all major airports in the national capital. Joining me here on the program is Madhav to tell us more about what transpired in that meeting. Madhav, good evening. I'm told the meeting was also attended by security agencies, the CISF and the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. Could you take us through what was decided, any major takeaways from that meeting?
Well, two or three aspects. Remember that, in the run-up to the season, the festival season, the end of the year, there's always an increased rush as far as passenger traffic, both incoming and outgoing traffic as well. International passengers as well as domestic sectors tend to get quite crowded at this point of time, particularly the coastal states where those from colder climates may be heading out and vice versa. So this is a time when really passenger traffic reaches its peak capacity on many sectors, and that's why it's all the more important for the airport infrastructure, those involved not just with the logistical aspects of it, but also the security aspects to ensure that everything flows smoothly, that people do not get troubled by unnecessary bottlenecks. And that is why it is very importantly the security agencies as well as the various airlines, other stakeholders who are very much part of this process, the airline managements, for instance, at the various airports, from Airports Authority of India to GMR to Adani to the various conglomerates that run different airports, for instance, Bengaluru and Hyderabad. All of them were part of this particular meeting, and clearly the message sent in was that they have to ensure that there is smooth passage of traffic, that passengers are not inconvenienced, that whatever capacity expansion is required as far as X-rays, etc., all of those aspects are taken into consideration. And of course, in Mumbai, for instance, we know how already, even without this festival season rush, there is already a maximum capacity that has been reached for a good part of the day, which ensures, and therefore it's all the more important, therefore, officials to ensure that traffic is smooth and that there is no backlog which can lead to further chaos. In Delhi, for instance, a newly inaugurated Terminal 1C is there, where, of course, anytime there's a new terminal, undoubtedly there are a number of teething issues in terms of manpower, in terms of logistics. So all of that also requires to be smoothened out, given the expansion plans that are there as far as the Delhi airport as well. So all of these are plans that certainly have been coming in. Remember, there's been a lot of complaints on social media as well of users over the past several days as to the difficulties they've encountered at various airports. So taking all of that into consideration, clearly the ministry has decided that it was important to have this kind of a consultation and an uprising of all the stakeholders to ensure that everyone's on the same page and that passengers suffer to the minimum possible.
So, that is in fact heartening to know that there are efforts made now to resolve this problem. Madhav, thanks very much for giving us clear perspectives on this issue. Well, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. Lots more lined up on the other side. So stay with us.